What's up, you bastards? We're back on It's Tough, the magnum.traub podcast. Today on It's Tough, we have one of the smartest people that I've ever met in my entire fucking life, Colton. Colton, it's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
So, Colton, you want to tell me where you're from to start out?
Yeah, sure. So, I was born in Ohio, but I moved to Florida when I was about 4, so been here most of my life.
So where do you go to school now?
I go to school at Duke in North Carolina right now. I'm a freshman.
Duke, that's some pretty intellectual shit. How do you like it there?
I really like it. I've had a great time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, how's high school for you? Or you want to tell first? Let's just talk about, you want to say how we met and shit like that?
Yeah, sure. So I met Magnum when I came to St. Stephen's, our high school, in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we really started to become friends in 9th grade because we had like all of our classes together.
He's the only reason I passed 9th grade. I didn't cheat off him. He helped me, though. He taught me. He was a substitute for all the other teachers that weren't necessarily shitty, but I didn't necessarily listen to them. But I listened to Colton because I knew he was smarter than all those motherfuckers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, then after 9th grade, we had a lot of study halls together. We would chill, play games on our iPads.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, great times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think we learned a lot then. You know, like from each other and just, I mean, from you, I know I did. Like fucking Latin. Like, he's a Latin savant. What else are you? Math savant. All right, not gonna hype it up, savant.
Yeah.
Freaky genius?
No. I'll say I'm good at math.
He's good at math. Wait, what are you majoring in at Duke?
Math.
Yeah, but like, let me hear.
So I'm majoring in math, and then I'm thinking about doing pre-med as well. So right now, like first semester, I took some pre-med courses, and then I also took my first math course for my major. So really, I'm just trying to cover all my bases because I'm not sure if I'm going to do pre-med yet. So it's more like make sure if I have a math major, I can always go into econ. There's always backup routes. So that's kind of my thinking.
So what did you want to do in the medicine field?
If I wanted to go into medicine, I'd probably want to go into surgery. That's always been something that really
like an orthopedic surgeon, right?
Yeah.
You told me that shit in like 8th grade.
Yeah. No, I've wanted to do that for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what made you want to do that for so long?
I guess when I was younger, I mean, my mom like has always been involved in the medical field. She wasn't a doctor or anything, but like she knew a lot of doctors. So because of that, when I was younger, I met a lot of them. And I think, like, I just happened to meet a cool orthopedic surgeon, and I was like, that guy's kind of sick. So
that's a pretty good reason. I want to be him.
So ever since then, it's just been that thing where, like, yeah, being an orthopedic surgeon would be really cool.
Damn. So do you like science and that shit, too, or biology, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, biology isn't my favorite just because it's a lot of just memorization.
Yeah.
But I like, chemistry, physics. I like most sciences, and biology's, like, all right. It's just... Yeah. The way that you learn it, where it's just memorizing a bunch of things, isn't my favorite.
Yeah, you like more of like a process to learn. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where math comes in. Math is all a process.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So do you like school? I mean, you're pretty smart. Have you ever like really struggled in school?
I mean, I've never like particularly struggled in school. There's been times I liked it more than others. Like, particularly in elementary school, I was not the type of kid to enjoy school. I really, really didn't like it. And then in middle school, it was all right. I didn't go to the best middle school for 6th and 7th grade, but I had some good friends there. And then when I came to St. Stephen's, like overall, I made good friends, enjoyed my time there. So I thought it was a pretty enjoyable experience. I didn't obviously love all parts of
being forced
school,
to do shit.
But yeah, I'm glad I did it, obviously.
Yeah. So do you have any, like, thoughts on school? Do you have any critiques of, like, school? Do you have anything like that? Like, I mean, you know who you're talking to. You're talking to the primary dropout right here, so.
Do you mean, like, I guess starting with just, like, elementary, middle, high school, like, before college, the learning system is kind of, like, just screwed up in a lot of ways. Like,
it's fucked.
It's fucked. So you're taught for like a test. Like, it's always a little standardized test that you have to take. Like in Florida, it's the FCAT.
Yeah, all that shit.
And like, it just makes all the lessons that you learned like geared towards here's how you recognize a problem, here's how you solve that problem. There's no really abstract thinking.
Yeah, critical thinking.
Yeah,
involved.
it's completely kind of blown off. So you just don't learn that. So I think that that's part of the primary thing that's wrong with school. And then when you get into college, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I think part of the issue people have with it, though, is they just, particularly if you don't want to be doing something that requires education, like for me, if I want to be a doctor,
yeah, you have to.
I have to go to school.
You're a perfect example of who should fucking go to school.
I have that motivation.
Yeah.
But for people like who want to start their own company or something, it's easy when you get to college to be like, I'm taking all these classes of things that I could learn on YouTube to make this company. And like when you're making your own company, you don't really need that degree behind your name to get hired, to get accepted into anything. Yeah. So I guess it's just hard for a lot of people to be motivated in college.
What did you think about St. Stephen's? Because, I mean, that's an expensive prep school. Do you think that was good, bad, ugly? Like,
I mean, St. Stephen's definitely has its flaws. Yeah. We both know that St. Stephen's definitely just has its shortcomings. But overall, I think St. Stephen's is much better than, like, most schools.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth the price tag?
I mean, I think that's another issue. I think that it's worth the extra money in that you're getting such a better education, but the fact that you're having to pay to get an education that's just like decent,
just like adequate. Like St. Stephen's was not. Hey, listen, I went there for 6 years. You went there for 5 years. I did not get given the keys to the fucking universe. Nothing was solved for me. No. I didn't understand it, and I had more problems when I got out of there than when I went in there.
It's kind of messed up how you're paying an absurd amount of money, and then you are just getting what feels like while you're there a normal education. Yeah. Like, sure, I was prepared. I learned some good stuff, but like,
I mean, it just shows how fucked the public school system is.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, you see kids that like learn from there, and the kids may not be dumb. But the information, shit about America, like, I just know it because I was taught it. Yeah. And some of these people are like, who the fuck's George Washington? Did he free the slaves? No, you're canceled. Like, you don't deserve a right to even speak if you think that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, school, my thoughts on school. I think it's a little fucked. But you're a primary example of who I think should go to school. If you're dumb, I think it's good to learn a little, but you're smart. But that's the track you want to go on. You actually see that's where you can grow from. Mm-hmm. If you just weren't to go to school and be like me, like, fuck. Like, I don't know if that'd be necessarily the best use of Colton's intellect or talent or whatever the fuck it is. You, in your senior speech, you talked about how you weren't necessarily, tell me if I'm wrong, you weren't necessarily the smartest or most genius or talented, but you just worked hard, right? Or was that... you're smart as shit. We all know that.
It was more of actually kind of the opposite in that, like, I talked about not working hard.
Yeah.
And, like, that's another thing. Like, you could get by with putting in very minimal effort and not doing things. So, like, I procrastinated a lot in high school. Yeah. Because for a lot of classes, you're able to just, like, do it all
in class.
At lunch, before class. Like, you saw me many mornings doing a homework assignment. You did the same.
Same shit.
At lunchtime, math homework.
Math done,
So it was more just like, I found that you can put into this minimal effort where you're not really getting as much out of it as you could, but, like, you're getting the grades you need.
You're getting
and it's like, that's kind of a not great way to do it, but it's hard to motivate yourself to do more if you don't have to.
So from school, did you feel like, so you're saying, like, basically I just had to get the grade. I didn't really have to learn the shit, right?
Yeah.
So did you feel like, so you go to Duke, I mean, that's a tough school. Did you learn anything from St. Stephen's that transferred over? Like, oh, I know so much more than these Duke fuckers. Or was it, or just,
I'm going to say no for the most part. Like, a lot of people that I've met at Duke, like, they know how to write an essay. Like, St. Stephen's always talks about, like, you learn how to write an essay, and you do.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of other people do too. But that's also because a lot of people at Duke went to either top public schools or they went to private schools.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really given me an advantage, but it has put me in a position to at least be on par.
So, but do you think, because I mean, you didn't really learn as much as you could or as much as St. Stephen's wanted you to learn, hypothetically, right?
Yeah, sure.
So what you were taught there didn't really have as much translatable value, I guess at Duke is what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I think...
You have to learn more in college. Like, you're in college, you just have to learn this shit. Like, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
You need to, like, writing an essay, shit like that's valuable for. But did you feel like just all the knowledge that they gave you just translated over perfectly? No, right?
No.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
A good example is, like, my chemistry class. I took... It was like, it's a chemistry class that you had to get a certain score on the AP exam to go into, so they expected a background knowledge, so it's a little accelerated.
Yeah.
But still, like, you go in there, and you realize how much just isn't covered in, like, AP chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay, this is all going to be a review. And then they say the topic, like, thermodynamics. You're like, oh, I did thermo.
Yeah.
And then you get into it, and it's like, they didn't teach me a good chunk of this in high school. And then you just realize that there's a lot of those just gaps of knowledge. Like, the calculus classes at Duke, like, I have friends that are taking them. I didn't take calculus because I had credit for it, but they learn things in very, very different ways that can actually lend itself to more conceptual understanding. So I definitely don't think it translates directly over.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know some kids, like, you go to other school, it's like you're still learning about shit that we learned in 7th grade, like bundle sheath cells. You know, they just go into greater detail, but how much more are you really learning from, you know? Like, that's the problem I have with school a little bit, is you're going into all this extra detail, but half the shit you still aren't going to know, you know? It isn't going to matter to know, and you're going to forget it. That's a big problem I have with it, but...
Yeah, I think a good part of it is just learning to learn. Like, why do you learn calculus? It's not because most people are going to be using calculus in their day-to-day life. It's to teach the skills that kind of come with that problem solving. So I that's one reason, like, I'm not as big of a fan as, like, biology. How many people are going to use biology? And really all you're getting from, like, that class, if you're not going to use it, is how to memorize things.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, sure, is an important skill, but I feel like there's too many classes that are like, all right, memorize these 40 terms.
Yeah.
And it's like, this doesn't really translate over into anything, and I'm going to forget it after the test because there's no continuous use of it.
So is math and stuff like that, like, a passion for you, or?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say, like, passion, but I definitely enjoy math. I like the kind of problem solving aspect of it. I enjoy looking at a math problem I don't originally know how to solve.
Yeah.
And, like, learning how to do it. And, like, this past semester at Duke, I took linear algebra, and it was a proof-based course, which means a lot of the answers aren't computations, but they're like, given this info, is this statement true? Prove it.
Given this info, is it? So it's like, okay, I think you want to, like, explain it a little bit better. Yeah. Or not better.
No.
In plainer English.
Yeah, that's... So, like, a proof is, like...
For them, not for me. I got it all.
All those concepts that you just kind of, like, are taught. Like, if you say negative x times negative x is x squared.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys can, like, slow it down, put it at, like, 0.5 speed to understand this.
So, with a proof, it's like, but why?
Okay.
Why can you say that?
So you have to plug in, like, 1.
No, because that's proving it for one situation.
All right, then how do I do it, Colton? Teach me linear algebra, man.
So this isn't necessarily linear algebra, but it's like the same idea of a proof where you have to, like, there's some fundamental things that are true. Like, you know that negative 1 times x is equal to negative x.
Okay.
And then you know that negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. But you don't know that negative x times negative x is x squared. So you have to decompose it into those parts. Okay. And then be like, because I know both of these things, the problem can be rewritten as negative 1 times negative 1 times x times x.
Okay.
Which is then 1 times x squared. And then you get x squared.
Now you see how he got us both through 9th grade. He's pretty fucking smart. So, can you explain to me what the purpose of knowing that is?
Again, it's more
Like
it's
practically.
more just like what do you mean like practically?
Like, all right, so you're learning linear algebra, you're getting a math degree and maybe the pre-med route. So how is that going to translate to your future?
So the math degree is definitely not going to have direct carryover to pre-med if I go that route.
But say you didn't go the pre-med route.
Yeah.
Say you go the other route. Like, where is that going to be used? Like, to me, I just...
Okay.
Like, just give an example.
Linear algebra, like, for example, one of the things that's used in a ton is, like, graphics. Like, this video camera that we're looking at right now.
Yes, I see it.
It's probably compressing the image, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. So to compress that image, it has to represent each of these like groups of pixels as a single pixel.
Okay.
And average that data out somehow.
Okay.
Linear algebra, one of the things it teaches you how to like kind of compress data.
Okay.
In a way that then can be recovered later. So it's taking these pixels and putting in like, let's say, some matrix of numbers that represents each of those average colors.
So could you look at it? This is just me trying to understand it. So like so do you look at each, say the individual pixel on the smallest level is the -1 and the X? Am I kind of like in each one? And then it would be broken down or built up actually to be X squared, just represented as 1.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the
essentially
idea?
the same idea. You're able to take that data that's compressed and then restore it back. And that's one reason videos have gotten better and more efficient is we've gotten better at finding ways to compress them and do all that.
So all the broken down. So you start say with X squared, you break it down, but the broken down part is the individual say pixel, right? Mm-hmm. And then you would build it up to X squared to have it be compressed, and then you would re-expand it.
Yeah.
Shit. See, I mean, that's a fucking practical application that I could never understand or do, but I mean,
sure you could.
Not with the fucking camera, not that complicated. But now it actually like brings it, because school never taught me. You know, I was not shitting on pre-calc. I love my pre-calc teacher, Mr. Borton. But fuck, like I was never told that this is the reason that you could use proofs and shit like that. Like I didn't really understand it. If I did understand it, would it change my life at all? Probably not. But still, it's kind of cool, I think, to understand.
Yeah.
You know, see like, all right, what else would you want to do? You said econ, all those routes. Is it kind of just a fluid, like getting this math degree so that you have kind of an open...
Yeah, I have math lets you do a lot of things. Like when you first hear about it, you're kind of limited when you think about a math degree, but then like a lot of econ places realize that they can teach you the econ concepts and you already know how to do the math, and that's easier than getting an econ person that doesn't know all the math thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of marketable in that sense. And then since for pre-med, your major doesn't actually matter as long as you satisfy the requirements.
Okay.
I figured it was good that even if I go pre-med, I'll have taken classes that I genuinely think are interesting.
Yeah.
So. And
you're not like a jackass at it. So like it's not going to be, you know, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be, you're going to be fucking hyped. You're going to be like, shit, like even though this class isn't necessarily what I want to do in the future, at least I'm going to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool. So segueing a little, how do you like college life? Has that been a change for you? Has it been something to get used to?
I mean, it's definitely something to get used to. You're like, I moved hundreds of miles away for college too. So I know a lot of people stay closer to home.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to go out and get that independence.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's been a big change. Like I'm in a dorm with a roommate.
How do you like that?
I actually really enjoy it. Like my roommate and I are chill. Shout out Ethan. And so that's definitely a change. Then you're just like accountable for yourself in a lot of it. Like for class, like I had no classes take attendance. I know that some classes do, but for this semester, none of mine took attendance. So on any day I could be like, I don't want to go to class today, which it's hard sometimes to get used to it. And I found that the best way to make sure I didn't end up skipping was just to like never skip.
Yeah.
Make that pattern, make it mandatory.
Yeah.
So I tried to make sure that if I agreed to do something or if I had a class like I have to go there, pretend they're taking attendance. So that independence is really, really cool. You can do what you want, but also it comes with a little bit of stress.
But I mean, you've always been a pretty disciplined person, because even when we went to school, you say you put in minimal effort, but you still would show up. I mean, I showed up at 7 every day, an hour early, because I wouldn't do fucking jack shit at home. You would show up at 7:20, 7:30 every day to get that, because you knew, like, I'm not gonna do shit at home, but I'm gonna be able to get this homework done right now. You know? Yeah. So I mean, you already had like a base. I could imagine for some of these fuckers that roll out of bed, get blasted, then go to school. They're really, disciplined at school and going to all their classes.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, college also has a very different social aspect. Like, I didn't go, like, I didn't go to parties much or out much.
Anything like that.
And then a lot of the college social scene is, like, you go out, you make friends that way. And, like, I'm considering, like, even, like, rushing, like, a frat or something. Yeah, so it's kind of different. Like, you meet people that are... You go in with some preconceived notion, and then you meet people, and you're like, "Wow, it's actually kind of cool." So it's definitely been a big just change in pretty much all aspects of my life. Yeah,
but you enjoy it? Right?
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
It's been beneficial for you.
I think it has.
Well, that's good. Do you see any benefits or drawbacks from now having like a bustling social life?
Benefits or drawbacks? I mean, benefits, like, it's always good to have people to hang out with. Yeah. Like, when you're by yourself in your dorm room, it's not.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a fun time. Because you're like, I want to be doing something. Yeah. So that lets you do that. And then, like, for instance, it was finals week the past, like, week and a half. And I had a group I was able to study with. And that makes everything so much easier. Yeah,
especially at a good school like Duke, it's probably not as many like partiers trying to bring each other down. It's like friends trying to help each other out and learn more. You know?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very supportive environment.
Yeah, they value the academics beyond fucking getting the blackout.
Yeah, I guess. And then there's like obviously the downside. Like there's people who get blackout and like EMS'd and all that stuff, which definitely hurts your academic performance. Yeah,
no shit. Fuck.
So, I mean, but it's kind of hard to do that to yourself. If you're careful with it, if you're odds are you're not.
If you're smart, disciplined, intelligent, and driven, you'll probably be okay. So let's get into the biggest question of all. Are you a libtard yet?
No.
No?
No.
What happened? Come on, you went to school. They haven't converted you?
No, not fully. I'm definitely, as I've talked to you about, like my views on different political issues kind of just flip-flop from one side, like Republican, Democrat, to the next. Like if I take, like, those political compass tests where like they like show you where you are on like the spectrum.
Heard of them. I've never taken
one. I always tend towards like moderate there. Yeah. And I think it's because so many of my kind of ideas conflict each other. Like I'm like, of course I care about the environment, like climate change, primary issue.
You heard it here. He's a smart motherfucker. If you don't believe in climate change, you're a fucking dumbass.
True.
Put it there. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I agree. But then on other issues, when it gets into like some tax stuff, I tend towards more like kind of conservative beliefs. Yeah. So I have a lot of those that go against each other. So because of that, it's like it's hard for me to like find any side or like candidate that really stands out.
But isn't that okay? Like, shouldn't you just be able to like somehow influence the government on what you believe is right and not have to find just some specific candidate? I mean, I know we have a representative democracy, but fuck. Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be a more intellectual way to do it than just...
You mean to like vote on each issue?
Yeah, kind of, or something like that, because, right now it's fucked. Like, I think what happened is at the beginning that was the attempt we made, but the power and the lobbies and all that shit, it's easier to give money to one side and the other side versus every single fucking issue, Yeah. So I think that just like totally fucked the system. And I really don't think that there's any way to I mean, I hope there is. I hope that
Yeah.
people smarten up. I really am trying to be a positive person, but fuck. Like, today it doesn't seem like... Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good.
It doesn't seem like there's any way for people just to understand issues that they actually, like, agree on and disagree on versus just being part of a tribe and just picking a side.
Yeah. That's definitely, like, the hardest thing. Like, I don't know if you've, like, watched the debates and everything.
I've watched a few.
Yeah. It's just, like, they'll say something and you're like, yeah, sure. And then they'll say the next thing, it's like, don't know about that one.
Yeah,
then,
like, come on.
So it is. It's kind of a, like, who do I think best represents my views? And it is a shame that you have to pick, like, a candidate that, unless you're very extreme and happen to agree on everything, you're going to have some things that they agree with that you don't.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it's in some ways like the lesser of
Two evils.
evils, yeah, when you're deciding.
Yeah. So, are you going to vote this coming election?
Yeah, I'm going to vote.
Do you have any idea what side you're going to go on?
I mean,
Are you going to vote for Trump?
I'm not a big Trump guy.
Really? What's wrong with Trumpy?
It's just, first of all, like, I just don't think that he's a good person. Like,
Does that really matter?
I mean...
Well, all right, what
okay,
makes you
one
think
thing-
he's a
one
bad
thing-
person? He fucks porn stars? Like, hell yeah, man. Like, you know how many fucking kids I know that would be like, are you kidding me? That's the greatest fucking guy on the planet. And he pays them off and tells them, go fuck yourself? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, for instance, back to climate change.
Yeah, shit like
that's
that.
kind of, like, should be a key issue, especially for our
Nowadays,
generation.
yeah,
like,
fuck.
our future is in jeopardy. And it's like you can't, in good conscience, vote for someone who's not doing anything and is actually making the problem worse.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing with lesser of two evils. Like, for me, it's like, fuck, I really care about the climate, but god damn, these cunts on the Democratic side, I just can't handle. They're too much, and some of their libtarded ideas just, like, destroy me. So it's, but you're right. Like, you kind of have to... You have to put on your big boy pants and say, listen, climate change might be the most important issue to our generation.
Yeah.
If you vote in any way against it, you're a fucking enemy. But that's the problem, see?
Yeah,
that's where the tribalism
yeah.
starts. Like, I shouldn't have to be a Democrat because I believe that science is real. Like,
Yeah, it's
like,
wild that that's a partisan issue.
Like, how is it? Like, why? Imagine if the fucking Republicans just agreed on that. Just said, yeah, climate change is real. We're gonna care about it. Are you kidding me? I would run down Manatee butt-ass naked with a MAGA hat on and a fucking American flag over me with a "Don't Tread on Me" Tea Party slogan, too. Because, I mean, fuck it. Like, then I really don't have that many issues with the Republicans.
Yeah.
But it's such a pivotal issue is that something that would override voting for Trump? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I followed you.
So, all right. So you don't really like Trump. The Democrat side, any guys you like?
I mean, there's no one candidate that I'm like, this person's sick. Like, we have,
You looking at Tulsi Gabbard at all?
not that much.
She's got a few podcasts with Joe Rogan.
Really.
Hey, Joe. We love you, Joe. I hate to be a Joe Rogan fanboy, but he definitely has turned me on to Tulsi Gabbard. She's kind of cute. She's kind of normal, She seems she was a veteran. Like, she has some fucking balls, and she's kind of strong. And she seems to be kind of legit. I mean, I don't know if she's exactly what I want. I don't think she's going to win. I mean, I think the powerhouse...
That's another problem. It's like, you look at the powerhouses that are really realistically the ones in contention.
Yeah.
And, like, those aren't the people that I'm, like,
that anyone
leaning
wants.
towards. Yeah.
It's just what the party wants, or the institution of the party.
Like, there's some candidates, like, have you watched any of, like, Yang's interviews?
I've watched a few, yeah.
Yeah. Like, very smart guy.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly knows, like, important issues. But then, like, there's other things that he says that I don't agree with, like the...
UBI?
Yeah.
Yeah. UBI, for those of you that don't know, means universal basic income. So for you poor bastards out there that are fucking losers and won't get your life on track, it might be great for you. He says, what, like $1,000 a month or something like that? But go fuck yourself if you want to take. I mean, because that's going to come out of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah,
it's
a lot
It's
of
not
money.
just going to be like. I understand that if you cut here and do this and you restructure, maybe. Mm-hmm. But when has the government ever done anything fucking right?
Yeah,
Since
that's the
FDR
issue.
getting, I mean, even some people would probably disagree that FDR did anything right.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, he got us out of the Great Depression, so he was the last guy to do something right, and that was almost a fucking 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Andrew Yang is just gonna pull up and what's up, bitches, and have everything fucking settled.
Yeah, he even says like in an interview like this is reliant on like future people, like future presidents after me. If I were to win and like implement my policies, so many of them are like long term.
Yeah,
like we're like the basic income. He's like that's in place so that we don't need a basic income in a lot of ways. But like that's way in the future, and odds are our next candidate that wins is going to be like get rid of the basic income.
I mean, that's the other problem. Like if you flip flop so much, I mean, the idea was progress on one side, progress on another side, and then it kind of balances out. But with this tribalism, it's just yes and no. So when one yes is, the fucking next guy's like, no, fuck that, and then no. So then what do you have? You just in the fucking stagnant, and then you end up fucking yourself because no one agrees or no one has long distance plans or long term plans. Like, how does that work? How are you supposed to do anything? It's like you, okay? If you just planned on, making it through this year, and that was all you planned for, how the fuck are you gonna be a success? Or like doing the most fun thing for this year, making this year the best year. Do you think when you're a doctor, the shit's gonna be good? No, like you're not gonna be on a stable footing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that shit is fucked.
Yeah, it really is.
What do you think about like Warren, Biden, Bernie, any of them?
I mean, not.
It's
not
a giggle
particularly.
of. What's up?
I said not particularly great. Any of them. Like, I'm definitely not a Bernie guy.
Not a Bernie guy? Why not? You don't like
guy.
Jews or something? I'm joking. We love the Jews. No, but Bernie's great.
Bernie's great. Are you a Bernie guy?
I just like the character, man. Cause
okay, sure, his character.
He's a fucking grinder. Like,
okay, yeah, like you see pictures of him like protesting.
Yeah.
He's honest.
Been in the shit. Yeah, he knows.
Like that he's genuine with what he's saying. I just a lot of what he wants to do, I don't necessarily.
No, yeah, he's
think
too
is
crazy.
a good idea.
Warren, Pocahontas.
Like, I look at like Warren and Biden, and like, just either of them as president would not be like my ideal situation. But then I'm like, I look at Trump, and I'm like, damn, we're kind of.
But that's the problem. Like for me, I don't know if you're in the same boat, but like, I don't think Trump's the best president we should have.
Yeah,
by a fucking long shot.
Yeah, 100%.
Then I look at Biden and Warren, and I'm like, are they really gonna be any better? All I know is they're going to restrict a few of my rights. So they might take care of climate change and shit like that, which is probably the most important issue for us right now. But, can I make that sacrifice? Like,
yeah, it's just like we said, it's lesser of two evils, and that's what's sad. So no, I don't know 100% who I'm going to vote for yet. But
you're going to vote.
I'm going to vote.
Would you do like an independent? Like, even though it's not necessarily.
I think if I voted, I'd have to do someone that like I'm making
that's in contention for So not just like a throwaway vote.
No,
But see, like.
But then that's the problem too, because there's if everyone did like was willing to give a throw, but like the current state of things, people aren't. But the only way that's going to change is for people to do it.
And I think that's the only way. I think we might have to just eat it for like 8 to 12 years. Imagine if that was how long. Imagine if people actually started like supporting the middle. And then we just ate the shit of the shitty presidents we get from then, or the presidents that we don't necessarily agree with. But eventually, a middle guy comes in, because you have to build that power. It's not like Jake Paul and you're going to get a viral video. Like, no, like you have to gather support when you're going against two titans like the Republican and Democratic Party.
Yeah.
But no one's ready to make that short-term sacrifice.
I have no clue how that future is going to play out. Like I can't make a prediction right now as to if the two-party dominated system is going to fade out ever.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to fade out in the next 20 years.
Yeah,
It's just...
who knows? But
realistically, it's going to go on longer than 20 years.
I think it's got to change eventually. Like, it has to. Because, listen, Rome, all these places fell. And I'm not certain that America is going to be here in 100 years. Like, I'm not saying that America's weak and yada, yada. Fuck with America, you're going to get fucked up, okay? We understand that idea. But at the same time, like, the system we have going on now, it's been going on for, you know, in different variations for, whatever, 200 and something years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe time for a little shifty. You know, it may take 50 years, but there's going to be some change. Because think about, I mean, Democrats versus Republicans. That's only been going on for, 100 years, if that, really? Like, there's still been other parties, like, involved, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's going to be some change. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I think that's the best we can do right now. Be optimistic about the future, as long as you don't think too deeply about all the issues. But yeah.
Well, I think we've sufficiently delved into politics.
Yeah.
So do you have any, like, role models or figures in your life that kind of, I mean, you said that you met a cool orthopedic surgeon once.
Yeah.
Other people that have, like, kind of inspired you. I mean, Sebastian talked about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, me, it's obviously only Joe Rogan. Only Joe Rogan.
I mean, in terms, like, of someone that's, like, just kind of inspiring to think about, like, what they do, like, Elon, you gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, fuck yeah, man.
Like,
he's a baller.
Imagine, like, he's sitting there and he's like, all right, people are telling me that, like, my company's, like, just done.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, pops off again and again and again. Cybertruck, he releases it, stock plummets. Then he gets hundreds of thousands of pre-orders, stock goes back up. It's like the guy just doesn't quit. And he's, like, the head engineer. He's, like, the face of the company.
He's a genius.
He is. He's a genius. And, like, his work ethic, like, he sleeps in the factory, like, a lot of times. Like, you gotta respect the hustle.
Do you think that that's too much, though? Do you think that he'd almost be better just, like, cool? I mean, it's him. So he can't, like, just cool it. But I don't know. For me, I just feel... I mean, like... I guess he's such a fucking crazy person.
I don't think I could... Yeah, I would never get to that level of dedication. But, like, as a role model of, like, someone who's, like, unattainably dedicated to one, like, single thing, it's like... I mean...
Fuck, you might as well look at the best, right?
Yeah.
He's crazy. Excuse me. This monster's coming up.
You good?
I'm fucking great, man. That's cool. Any other, like, role models or people that you...
I mean, like, in terms of... That's more of an academic role model.
You work out?
Yeah.
A little bit, right?
I worked out. It definitely took a hit during finals.
Did it?
Yeah.
Fuck it, man. Going to school is more important than working out.
That's what I had to tell myself.
My brain's not really doing it, so I gotta push some weight just to, like, you know, make me feel better.
I will say, Magnum, and this isn't just, like, because it's your podcast, but, like, I started working out, like, in a large part because of Magnum.
Aw.
So, I guess if we want to look at, like, my role model that, like, made me go to the gym and get that membership, I mean, Magnum was always, like, in 8th and 9th grade, like, pushing me, like, it's a good thing, and he always, like, was really dedicated to it. So
well, I became a meathead, so I think ipso facto of me being your role model, your real role model is Rich Piana. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
You know Rich Piana.
Yeah, I know Rich Piana.
Did you like Rich Piana? Do you have any thoughts on Rich Piana?
He's just such a character. Like, his videos, like, I was watching a couple months ago, and, like, they're just so good. He's just such a genuine guy.
No, I know. I mean, you guys if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this wherever the fuck, you guys can look up Rich Piana if you don't already know who he is. He died a few years back, sadly, of fucking, I don't even know what. A lot of shit. And basically everything shut down. But, I mean, he just was a great guy because he was so fucking honest.
He was so honest.
That was the thing. Like, he's fucking jacked, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Imagine, though, if he tried to claim natural. Like, imagine Rich Piana releases a video, and he's like, I don't get why I get all this steroid hate. I am 100% natural vegan bodybuilder. Like, imagine.
With the veins coming out of his fucking eyeballs. And his head is this big.
His arms are like fucking.
His arms were this big. I mean, here's what is sad is because, all right, I'm a bit of like an obsessive person. And I get a little overboard with certain things. So I got overboard with Rich Piana. I was fucking enamored by him. He's this fucking monster. I got enamored by him young too. Probably what, 9th grade?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I mean, he had some wild ass theories on how to get big and how to get big or die trying. So that's why I went after. And I just looked at him like he was normal. I was like, this guy's fucking. Like, I'm gonna be that size one day. And his arms, like, he said he tried synthol. He admitted to it. And you guys know synthol is it's shooting oil into your arms. And I always looked at him. And I'm like, but he said the synthol like went away or it dissipated. So then he died. And I quit watching his videos because he didn't make any more. But I still watch him on occasion. But I went like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I watched one of his videos. I'm like, holy fucking shit. I watched this guy and I thought he looked normal. His fucking arms are this big. They're insane.
They literally don't change when he flexes.
No, they got balloons on him. I mean,
they stay the same.
He definitely had crazy amounts of muscle. Not denying that. But it's insane how I was so enamored by him. And just like thought that everything he said was the word of God. I was like, fucking A, that synthol shit's bullshit. That's all muscle. I didn't understand like how crazy he actually was. And I don't think you do understand until you watch him again. Like my father thought he was fucking nuts, but I'm like, dude, he's just fucking jacked. Look at him, bro. and then I didn't even used to notice like he blew up to like 330 pounds. Fucking A, you can tell. Like he was a monster.
He was.
But
and then he had his little crew that he hung out with.
Oh, the 5%ers.
Yeah, like that video they walk into the gym to lift
the bank ball, and they go in there and fucking.
They all walk through the door and like they turn sideways to like fit through. Absolutely kills me every time.
I mean, the amount of testosterone in that room that was not produced naturally is insane.
they all had their 5% drugs.
All of them. That and syringes is probably all they had. All they needed pre-workout. Fucking right in the ass. So do you think like? So you said that you didn't really work that hard in high school. You're working harder now.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, you're disciplined. So I'm kind of confused with your work ethic. Like, I feel like you're a fucking grinder, Colton. Like, even though as much as you try to tell me, like, I didn't really do that much. I mean, you grind it. Was it that you understood, like, this is a place I have to be? I'm not gonna go over and above and kill myself, but I'm gonna fucking get there.
That is exactly like that. That was my senior speech in essence. I talked about like a minimum standard. That minimum standard is like that spot where I need to get there. And it's like, but I'm not gonna.
Your minimum standard is higher than most people.
Yeah, I had that. I think that's one thing. Like my minimum standard is high, but also like if I looked at a class and I'm like, all right, I can do 20 minutes of homework a night and get an A, but I can do an hour and 10 minutes a night and get an A plus. I'm not gonna add that much time to my night to get the A plus.
0.3 GPA.
Yeah. So I think that was just the most important thing for me, feeling like I didn't have to do a lot, because I'd go into a class and if it was like, okay, yeah, this is the type of class I can get an A plus with like half an hour of regular work, sure. But if it's like history was not my thing.
Yeah.
I shot for a 93 in history because that was our A over an A minus. And like I pretty much in every history quarter where other than 10th grade, I would get that 93. And exactly. Because I knew how much effort I needed to put in to barely get that grade.
Mathematics, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's but now, all right, so now that your life is in your hands.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster, Colton. The future is for you to create. Are you going to go above and beyond? Like, do you have any, like, goals or, like, a future idea of where you kind of... Because I know you don't know if you necessarily want to go pre-med or you want to go math or where are you leaning? What's your goal? Like, do you understand? Like,
yeah. I think I've definitely just increased, like, the minimum standard I've talked about. Like, at this point, it really has become, like, do as well as you possibly can. Because also, I still don't know the effort required for each college class. It varies so much more than it did in high school.
Yeah.
And, like, so you really just have to go all out.
You just have to do the best you fucking
can. And, like,
can.
obviously not all out to where it's extreme every night. But, like, you got to be on your game. If you don't understand something in class, like you got to understand it that night. Like, and it's definitely, I've definitely just worked harder to stay on top of it and make sure I can do the best that I can do.
So are you thinking past college at all, or past?
Like, you mean like working hard so that it pays off after college, or?
I guess that, but just kind of, do you have any vision of where you see yourself in the future?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like, I mostly see myself as going to med school.
That's really.
I don't obviously know which one. Med school's, it's kind of a crapshoot, just like college admissions with where you get into, only even more so for med school. But I see myself going to med school. And then I've always said, like, orthopedic surgeon. But a lot of people find out, like, in med school what their, like, true, like, calling is. Like, most people, if you want to do surgery, odds are you're going to lean towards surgery still. But, like, what type of surgery? You'll probably figure that out after you spend hours and hours and hours watching surgeries.
Gender reassignment specialty. Oh, fuck. That might be the future, man. That might be... You might be,
could
like...
be lucrative.
Yeah, the best... Like, imagine if you're the best gender reassigner. You go to Beverly Hills. You create the most... Well, I'm not going to get too graphic because, well, YouTube would probably take me down. But the most, whatever, artistic and beautiful, whatever, phallics there are.
I mean, yeah, you'd probably make a killing if you're the best at it.
If you were, I mean, you could be if you set that minimum standard at being the best.
The problem is, I don't know if that's, like, my calling.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was just making a fucking joke.
But yeah, no, I
got you. But, well, that's good. So you see college, and beyond that, do you know kind of where you want to live? Anything like that? Or you're just like,
I
fuck it,
think,
I don't give a shit?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't want to be back in Florida.
Yeah?
That's all I really know. Like,
why not?
If I end up in Florida, sure. I mean, the weather, for one, is not my ideal weather. It just kind of gets too hot here for me. Like, North Carolina weather, I think, like, I've enjoyed it so much more. Like right now, it's, like, jeans, long sleeve, and jacket weather there right now. It's in, like, the 40s.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, so nice to have that, like, progression.
Mild,
like, we started with shorts and T-shirt. Then you put on the jeans with a T-shirt. Then the T-shirt becomes like,
yeah.
And you actually have that change in seasons that kind of remind you that time is passing. In Florida, it's just like, are you going to wear shorts and a T-shirt and be chilling? Or are you going to wear shorts and a T-shirt and be hot? Like, that's the two kind of settings here. I say that, though, today it's like 60. So.
Yeah, I mean, today it's not that bad.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I going to say? So, like, going to school, so you kind of have a passion for medicine, I'm taking it, or something like that? Like,
yeah.
That's something you enjoy?
Yeah.
Is money, like, a major issue in your life? Or are you going to join the Peace Corps and go help out impoverished kids that are sick and need surgery?
I mean, I think the Peace Corps would be, like, kind of a cool opportunity, but I do think in my future, I see myself in a job where I'm making comfortable money. Like, I want to live a comfortable life financially. Yeah. So, as much as, like, I want to be like, I'd give all the money away, live fully, like, a fully humanitarian lifestyle. Like, no, I do want to have a good life for me, and then, like, future family, you know. So
is that more another reason why you want to be a doctor, or not really? Like, that was just, look.
Now, I mean, it's a reason. I know that that's a stable career where, realistically, with all, like, the new developments in technologies, it's still not going to be phased out for at least a long time. Yeah. So we know it's not going to be obsolete. Yeah. And then we know it's a pretty solid income. And, like, that is one thing that is, like, okay, yeah, medicine. And it kind of has to be with the fact that you kind of throw away your 20s.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. Are you going to have any student debt? I mean, you're going to Duke. That's an expensive school. Yeah. How's the student? Would you do it if you were going to get student?
For Duke undergrad, I will not have debt.
You got a scholarship?
Like, I got financial aid.
How much money?
Good amount.
Good amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for med school, I probably will take on some debt.
Yeah, do you, like, I don't really know the figures when it comes to med school.
Med school costs, like, full price, like $90,000 a year.
$90K?
Yeah.
That's a fuck ton.
And the problem is, they still, even though you're independent by then, you're 22, they look at your parents' income. There's no way around it.
That's fucked.
So my parents, they're helping me with undergrad. That's great. That's why I'm going to be debt free.
Yeah.
But like, I can't expect them to pay for like 12 years of education. Like, sure, they'll be able, and it's not going to be $90K a year. Like, I mean, when you have like, you have med school, you have residency. So overall, the education is like going to be like 12 years. But
how much are you paying for? Let me put that like
probably if I get similar financial aid, I'll take on like less than $100,000 in debt total.
I mean,
so
that's good, but that's still
a lot of debt. But I just don't know how that's going to work out in the future. Like, I can't predict where that's going to be in 4 years. So,
yeah. But I mean, for you, like, you're thinking really long term, really, a stable way. You do like medicine or whatever. It probably seems not that crazy of like a trade off. Like, 100K of debt, but I know in 5, 10, whatever years, eventually I can pay it off, and it's not gonna be a big like. You're not going to go out and try to invest in all this crazy shit and, be like that. I mean, I don't think so, right?
Yeah, no.
So you have a stable look at it.
Yeah, I don't think that's the biggest issue, especially since I will, assuming my parents' situation doesn't change in any significant way, like their money.
Yeah.
The debt's not the primary concern. The primary, reason why I could see myself not becoming a doctor is because of kind of the time sink. Like, you get out and you start living your life in your 30s, in your early to mid 30s, and that's just it's hard to think about that. Starting a family becomes so much harder, because you don't get out.
So you want
school.
A family?
I do want a family, yeah.
Okay.
And that's just the thing, the work-life balance is so difficult, especially with surgery.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes me pause and be like, is this the path I want to go on?
Do you have any thoughts, though, on, the student debt issue? Because I think that's one of the major problems, and just debt in general. But, I mean, for you, you're a driven individual who's trying to go somewhere and actually has, you got more clear thoughts than most people, than I fucking do, of where you want to go and what you want to do. So then it makes sense. Like, if you can bring debt into the equation and balance it out and work it out, then fuck it, that's not that big of a deal. But do you think for some of these other kids that maybe are going to school with you or shit that?
That's definitely a big issue, especially for the people whose parents make enough to fully pay for med school and then don't contribute to med school. And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's even for undergrad. You fill out the FAFSA, the CSS.
Oh yeah.
And you get your aid, and it's if you could say that your parents weren't going to pay, every parent would have their kids say that.
Yeah.
So that it's less money. So that's why there's no real way around it. It's tough. A lot of people end up but there are things in place, like state schools. You're going to pay a lot less than at a private school. Florida has our Bright Futures.
Yeah.
You get a 3.5 GPA and a 1290 SAT.
Yeah, you get full ride.
You go to full ride for any of the public schools in Florida. So there's definitely things in place to help with that. Mm-hmm. But I can imagine, I have a friend who got into a good school that it was actually his dream school, and then couldn't go to it because even though his parents, by the FAFSA, had the money, they couldn't pay all that and be comfortable with it. So then he ended up going to a state school, and it's happy there, but
still
some kind of feels like a missed opportunity in some ways. So yeah, that's definitely a big problem, and it's really tough to see how it can completely change the course of people's lives.
So would you for you looking to the future, all right, let's put it this way. If you were going to go to Duke and you were going to take on a lot of fucking debt from going there, right? Mm-hmm. Would you still do it because of the name and because you think it'd help you out in the future? Or would you just say, fuck it, like I'm gonna go to some state school and.
If I had to pay full price for Duke, it comes out to like $280,000 for 4 years. I would not have gone if I had to take on $280,000. I would have gone to like UF.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to reconcile that in your mind. Like, taking on that much debt.
Yeah, you don't think that the upside from the name or the
it's nice. It's a boost, but even if it does result in over your lifetime $280,000 in difference,
the stress.
It's not worth taking on that debt, and then there's interest. It's just it's terrible. So I would definitely have gone to UF if I didn't get aid.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just wondered, like, how you kind of saw it, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, I wondered how you kind of, like, because if you were to take on debt, like, how would you do that? Because you're a smart guy, you have your life figured out. Would you rationalize? Because these dumbasses that don't got shit figured out will walk in and take on as much debt as they can. Like, to me, this blew my mind. I didn't even know they did it. I didn't know you got actual loans for, like, just living. I thought you just got school loans. Like, they just paid for tuition. Like, no, you get loans to, like, buy groceries and all that. Yeah. You know, you get a loan for whatever. You're fucking going out and spending any amount of money that you don't have, and you're going to get interest on that, and you totally rationalize it?
Yeah.
Are you fucking insane?
No, yeah, I definitely don't think that in a lot of cases that's worth it. Like, if I was saying, though, if I was going to graduate with, like, $60,000 in debt from going to Duke undergrad, I think I would have rationalized that in my mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But as soon as it crosses that certain threshold, which for me feels like about $75,000, you can't rationalize that anymore. It's like that's too much of.
Yeah, because you never know what the fuck happens in the future too. Yeah. What happens if for some reason you don't want to be a doctor and all that?
Yeah.
Like,
if I change my mind, I'm like, you know what? I really want to be a teacher. Like,
yeah, you're gonna eat shit for a while.
I'm stuck with $75,000 in debt now, and there's nothing. Yeah.
So are you happy now? I guess so. You're happy with where you're at, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy with where I'm at right now. Like, I've like at Duke, just in general, made some really good friends. For the most part, I really enjoyed my classes this semester, even though it's definitely a lot more work for a lot of them. It's also, in a lot of ways, more interesting than high school classes. And that's even just with intro classes. Like, I took an intro psych course this semester. And the teacher on Rate My Professor is, like, everyone's, like, best lecture I've ever had. And, like, she really is, like, it literally felt like every lesson was a TED Talk.
What was the class for again?
Psych 101.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. Like, she blew your mind, like, every single class with, like, some study or anything. Like, you never left there, like, I was kind of bored. Like, and, like, that's just a type of class that you don't really get that often in high school.
Yeah.
And, like,
and probably at most, like, regular schools, too. Like, that's probably where Duke actually has some.
Yeah, I think that's probably true to an extent. Like, there's always going to be good teachers at some schools, but there's definitely a higher concentration, I think, at Duke than some other schools.
Yeah. So is happiness, like, one of the more important things? Because you say, you know, you want to be a doctor, you kind of like it, yada, yada. So is that, like, to make you happy? Like, is that your primary goal? Or are you, like... I mean, I already kind of asked you this question, like, with money and shit like that. But is it just comfortable and being stable? Is that happy to you? Like, what is...
No, yeah, I think
living a
happy
meaningful
to me.
existence, helping people, like...
I mean, it's really a combination of all those things. Like, you know you're going to lose some immediate happiness. Like, when you're working long hours, when you have to wake up early, some amount of your happiness is going to diminish. But you then have that other type of happiness, and that's from, like, helping people, making a difference with your life. And that's one thing, bringing back the psych, we actually learned the difference. There's hedonic happiness and eudaimonic happiness.
All right, now you got to tell me.
Yeah, hedonic happiness is, like, just basic pleasure, like, you just won, like, some money.
Oh, like hedonistic.
Yeah, hedonistic, that's what it is. And then eudaimonic's, like, how meaningful is this activity? How am I making a difference? Yeah. Is this, like, important? And, like, they're very different types of happiness. Like, parents always rate their hedonic happiness as lower, but then they look back and they're like, I loved children, it, and it's eudaimonic.
Yeah.
So, like, in that sense, being a doctor is very, very eudaimonic happiness, heavy, and I do think that I did enjoy that.
So do you think, like, as you are now, do you think that you're eudaimonic? Happiness is higher because you kind of know,
Because of the
like,
meaning? Yeah.
well, you know that I'm doing something to help myself. Like, even this pain that I'm feeling now, does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
it's not you can't say it's a hedonistic
No.
happiness
Yeah,
because
it's definitely more
life
eudaimonic.
sucks, but you have a eudaimonic feeling of happiness because, hey, I know in the future I'm going to be better off,
Yeah.
I'm going to help people, I'm going to help my family, all that shit. I'm putting myself in a better position.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of the biggest things. And that's why when you're at college taking final exams, you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you leave, you're like, no, I loved it.
So worth it.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever did.
Yeah, so it's like, it definitely is. It's the same thing as being a doctor in a lot of ways. Like, it's all that eudaimonic happiness. Like, you're like, this is going to pay off for me. This is my future. There's meaning behind this. And it's like, yeah.
That's interesting. So, all right, I think we understand where your happiness is. I was going to say, like, happiness and freedom. Like, do you have any thoughts on, like, value of freedom? Because, I mean, being a doctor, shit like that, you're kind of...
Yeah, especially
there's
if, like...
stricture under your life, you know? And you have to be on it. You can't fuck around.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that's one of the other things with being a doctor is, like, insurance companies dealing with that is, like, becoming more and more prevalent, and the restrictions you get placed on you are more and more. So that's one reason that a lot of doctors nowadays, like, if you talk to them, they're like, don't become a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, my job is half dealing with, like, insurance companies and making sure I don't break rules and, like, satisfying that. So, I mean, I do value a certain amount of that freedom to do what I think is best.
Yeah.
But when you're, I think it's a sacrifice I'd be willing to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are. I mean, you are willing to make it, right? And
Yeah.
you're fine with it to live that stable, better life, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll ask a few questions or a question.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts on, like, social media or shit like that?
I mean, I definitely have, like... I mean, most people are addicted to social media. Like, you get up, you check Instagram. 10 minutes later, check Instagram, Snapchat, all that. So, like,
TikTok.
I have a couple of friends that are
Yeah.
big TikTok addicts. Yeah.
Yeah, my mother was telling me that somebody she knows, like, obsessed with fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, I've watched a few, actually, out of curiosity. They're very bingeable.
I downloaded the app, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, let me go on a little bit of a tangent.
All right, sure.
So, I watch Gary Vee, right? If you guys don't know who you know who Gary Vee is?
I don't think so.
He's this Ukrainian Jewish guy who's, he created a wine company, or his parents had a liquor store. He created winelibrary.com or whatever the fuck. And he built up a massive company, and now he has this thing called VaynerMedia. He basically does media consulting for advertising, shit like that, to help other people out. And he's this massive guy he's got 7 million followers on fucking Instagram. Like, he's pretty fucking big, and his idea is, listen, you got to get all your shit out there on TikTok, LinkedIn, all these places that are, you know, it's more organic to grow there versus Instagram, Facebook, shit like that, Twitter, where you can get lost really easily on Instagram. You know, where, like, no one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah,
like, me on Instagram, like, you fuckers don't even go and try and follow me at magnum.traub. And, but, like, no one's just gonna naturally, like, come across my page because, you know, whatever. So he says, like, get on TikTok, those places have organic growth, and I believe it. Like, you see that a decent amount of kids can actually, like, get some popularity and get some traction on there. And I really want to, like, I'm like, all right, I should do a TikTok. Like, this, no, he says you have to have a TikTok, you have to do it, and it's the key to success. And I believe him. Like, I've really bought into a lot of the shit he says. Like, because he's just a smart guy, and fuck it, why not? Mm-hmm. And so I get TikTok, and I download it for, a week. I still got it on my phone. And I'm watching it. And I like it. You know? I'm trying to think of how to create a TikTok for myself. But they all piss me off. Every single...
What do you mean?
Like, not every single one. So, first off, they're all just... Typically, if you're scrolling down, it's just cute fucking girls in crop tops and tight-ass jeans shaking their ass. And that's about it. What's it... Oh... Let me know. That's the thing that they say at the end. Like, if they think they're hot or something like that. And I get how it's addicting, right? But the problem is, I think it's fucking society more. Like, you start out Facebook. Facebook fucks society because everyone's interested in everyone else's business.
Yeah.
First problem. Then you get Instagram and this, that, and there are different variations, but they say that, our attention span, like the Gen Z attention span, is so minimal. Because, you're scrolling, and, like, I'll scroll through Instagram, and I'll be like, I don't give a fuck, don't give a fuck, don't give a fuck, tits, okay, maybe. All right, then, you look through it, and that's what, like, grabs your attention. But I'm spending 10 seconds on a post, tops, if I like it. That's it. And you're just constantly scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But you can spend more time, yada, yada. And then Snapchat, 10 seconds used to be the max, this and the other. So our attention span just keeps on dropping and dropping. What's TikTok? TikTok is only, like, I think 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's constantly scroll. So you just watch, done. And you never think. And you know what Noam Chomsky is? Noam Chomsky is a linguist. He worked for MIT. He still does, I think. He's like 90 years old. He's this Jewish guy, right?
Okay.
You kind of...
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, yeah.
And he's revered as one of the most profound intellectuals that that's living today. Right? And he's talking about... And he fucking... I just love the guy. He's a Jew. He fucking hates institution. He hates all that shit. And he really has some critiques on America and all that. And he says, I'm paraphrasing, of course. How the fuck am I supposed to get an intellectual thought across in the 3 minutes they give you on TV? The 2 minutes. Like he hates media because all they want you to say is a fucking, excerpt, or they want you... No complex thought is going to be done in 3 minutes. Like our conversation here.
Yeah.
One of our exchanges is 5 minutes. You talk for 5, I'll talk for 5. And that's how you do it. That's how you learn. That's how you flush out ideas. Because you're working out every possible scenario. And this is just a little bit of it's not exactly translatable to TikTok. Mm-hmm. But how the fuck is anything profound or anything that betters society going to come out 15-second video?
No.
Nothing. It's just going to be a meme or a, water or whatever the fuck, a prank. Yeah. That's it. No one is gaining anything. No one is training their mind to actually learn. Mm-hmm. We're getting shorter. The time should be longer. There should be more podcasts and more YouTube, more videos that last a while. No, they're just shortening it. Soon it's going to be like Vine. Vine was 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah.
And so TikTok kind of built on that, but I think it's fucking us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure, my attention span is so much... Like, I used to read a lot.
Same.
And then now, it's like, you can... It's possible to get into a book, but it's just harder.
It's really fucking hard.
It's like, damn, I used to be able to pick up a book, read it, even if it wasn't, like, a great book. Yeah. I'd read the whole thing and be like, all right, cool. And now it's like, you watch TikTok and you're like, getting bored halfway through, and it's only 15 seconds long.
Yeah, you just swipe. So I think... So this is what's pissing me the fuck off, is it's everyone's, get on TikTok, and I get it. It's a short term. Like, maybe if you want to pop off and get some notoriety, fuckers, get on TikTok. But for me, like, actually, I think it programs my mind, like, personally. I think if I watch a lot of them, it programs my mind to have less attention. And it's programming everyone's fucking mind. And I can't support it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing a TikTok. So you fuckers that want TikToks from Magnum, you may get them in the future. I may fucking flip-flop on this idea, but I really don't like it. And it just fucking pisses me off because I'm watching these bitches. I'm thinking about other people watching it. And I'm like, you're watching it for the hot girl, and then when she's done, there's just another one. There's never something to actually go after, be like enamored by and think about. Like you never think about, how do I get that hot girl? Anything like that. You don't analyze any part of it. You're just like, oh, cool, next one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
what do you think on that idea, Colton?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you just said about. I mean, it definitely hurts our attention span, and you're not really getting anything from it. Like, when you watch TikTok, if you watch it for an hour, and then you put your phone down, nothing was gained in that hour. Absolutely zero. Like, and it is kind of an unproductive use of your time. But I do think that there are places for that where, like, when you're bored, sure, you should be allowed to...
Yeah.
You need time for your mind to kind of shut off.
But I think... The problem is, because it is such a short, like, investment of time, that people make it so easily and so easy to become addicted to.
Oh,
Because it's like
absolutely.
doing drugs, you know? You smoke a little crack, it's fucking easy to get high. It's easy to feel good. When you have to work hard to feel good, that's something fucking difficult that people don't really want to do. So that's what this is. It's like even watching a movie. Like now, I know it. And Netflix fucking rapes me because I watch a movie and I just, nope, fuck it, can't do it. Can't watch 15 minutes of a fucking movie. Are you serious? Like, how the fuck is this possible? I used to watch movies all day long. So what's happening? My attention span is being fucking destroyed. And I can't, like, a movie you actually, I think, can learn from. And, like, you know, there's analysis that you can put behind a movie. And so that's the, I don't know. It kind of just pollutes you. Even though it's a good way to waste time, I feel that you could waste time, like...
Oh, yeah, if you just had a book that you popped out and read every single time, like, you'd no doubt learn more, gain more from it. And, yeah, it just... I feel like it's really not anything, though, that's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
Social media is just part of our life now.
It's part of our life,
So you really just have to make an effort to do stuff like even watch a movie when you can, read when you can to, like, break it up. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see in, like, 20 years where we are in that.
Because I mean, I feel retarded from just the shit I've done throughout my life, and you know, just social media and all that shit. I told you, like, I feel kind of dull sometimes, you know, from just going through, you know, living life, right? And I feel dulled, and sometimes I feel more dull than, say, a generation older than me would. You know, I feel like they were probably sharper at my age on, you know, relative to their time.
Yeah, sure.
And not to be an old fucker at 18, but holy shit, like, think about it. If you grow up watching fucking TikToks all day long, you try to read a book, you won't be able to read. Here, read the Biscuit books. I can't pay attention, I gotta pick up my phone. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I just think that's really gonna fuck up society even more.
No, for sure. It's not a good thing. Like, I don't post a lot on social media or something, but, like, just, like, most people, like, scroll through it, and, like, what was crazy is I was up late, like, the other night, and I had to wake up really early for something, and, like, I opened social media, but it was all the same posts from the night before, so I closed it. Then, like, 10 minutes later, I open it again,
it's still the same
and I'm
shit.
like, why am I... It's like 5:30 a.m. Why is anyone gonna have posted anything? Like, I'm at the airport waiting for my flight to come back. I check social media probably like 4 times. And it's like no one's gonna post, but it's just that compulsion to like see what's going on.
It's like a way just to kind of, I don't know, jog, you know? Like, it's just something that doesn't really do anything for you, but it just, you know, it's like chewing a piece of gum, you know? You're just doing it so that you have something to do. That's it.
Like, you're sitting there on your phone, you're like, what am I going to look at? Oh.
Yeah, but versus, like, what you used to do is people would sit up and then stare. And if you're staring at something, you're probably thinking about something. Now you aren't thinking. You're just trying to watch the 15-second, you know, video on TikTok. And what the fuck's that doing for you? Nothing. If you just sat there and thought for the 45 seconds of the 3 TikToks you watched, odds are you might just expand your mind a little bit fucking more. I don't know. But that's my fucking gripe with TikTok. I don't know. It's kind of bugging me.
Yeah, I agree in a lot of ways with what you just said.
Good. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I'm pretty, I went through fucking as much shit as I can.
I mean, I don't know.
But
I'm pretty good. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I guess to close it off, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anybody you want to give a shout out? We're going to link your Instagram in the bio.
I guess I'll... No.
No? All right.
I'm good.
Well, that's perfect. So this has been the It's Stuff podcast with Colton, the fucking genius. Don't forget to fucking sub this, okay? Come on. We're at like 47 right now. Let's get to 50. From 50, we can get to 100, okay? Well, we can fucking do this shit. Maybe if we get to 100...
You'll end up on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Fuck, I don't know if I'll end up on Joe Rogan's podcast with 100 subscribers, but maybe if we got a few more,
500.
500, we might really be doing it. But maybe at 100, I'll drop some crazy shit. Like, I'll just fucking, you know, I don't even want to say.
12-hour long podcast.
No, that'd be fucking torture for these people.
Imagine you just sat here in this chair and talked to yourself for 12 hours.
Listen, you guys, I will though. If we get 100 subs, I'll do some crazier shit. A little bit, but, you know, just for fun.
Yeah.
I might do it if we don't get 100 subs. I'm just bored.
Look forward to it then.
Yeah, but if you did like this video, comment, hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, comment. If you have any critiques, comment. Just throw a fucking comment down there. And that's about it.
Great.
Thanks, guys.